and welcome to Jeff's Dungeon, your one-stop shop for all things health, wellness, and fitness. So on Saturday, I was taking a walk to the library and had a million thoughts going through my brain about how I wanted to configure my full body workout video. And part of what I wanted to incorporate was information about nutrition because of a couple questions one of my clients asked me. So today we're going to answer two questions I received from my client. Question number one. Why do you have me doing weightlifting exercises when I'm trying to lose weight? Doesn't muscle weigh more than fat? And question number two, if I work out on an empty stomach, does that make my body burn more fat? And we will answer those questions in just a moment, but first I just want to share a quick funny story. So I posted information about my channel on Facebook, and an old friend of mine from college made this comment. He said, "I'm glad there's a detailed description of the channel. When I first read Jeff's Dungeon, I wasn't sure what to expect, but it wasn't exactly PG-13. Now, I can assure all of my viewers that there's nothing R-rated going on in my dungeon, as creepy as the name sounds, except if you hear strange noises during my videos. Just don't pay them any mind. That's the poltergeist. He lives in the walls and occasionally messes with the heat, but other than that, he doesn't bother anybody. So we'll just leave him alone. Anyway, on to answering the questions, and I'm just going to make sure that we can see the poster. You can see the whiteboard in the camera. Just a little bit. Okay, so it's very common, not just my client, but a lot of people worry that too much lifting weights will cause you to gain weight, because we've all heard that age-old theory that muscle weighs more than fat. And yes, it is true. Muscle does weigh more than fat. 1 liter of muscle weighs 2.3 pounds, while 1 liter of fat weighs 1.98 pounds. But that's pretty much where the conversation ends. Because muscle is also a lot more metabolically active than fat. Muscle tissues have a lot more fat-burning enzymes. So the more muscle you have, the more calories you're going to burn. Muscle also uses energy and it releases waste products. 1 pound of muscle burns about 7 to 10 calories per day, whereas a pound of fat only burns 3 to 4 calories per day. Also, muscle only takes up about 80% of the space that fat takes up because it's a lot more dense. So if you have two people that are about the same height and about the same weight, the more muscular person will look a lot more fit because muscle is 20% denser. It takes up less space. So if you're trying to lose weight, it's crucial to lift weights. If you're trying to gain weight, it's also crucial to lift weights. Well, how can that be true? So we're going to go with the general theory that, and it can fluctuate maybe a little bit per person, but in general, 3,500 is the magic number. So if you're able to burn 3,500 more calories than you consume, you will lose 1 pound. And if you have a surplus of 3,500 calories, you are generally going to gain 1 pound. So if you want to lose 1 pound in a week, you're going to have to average approximately 500 calorie deficit every day for 7 days. Then you'll lose 1 pound. And if you're trying to gain a pound in a week, you're going to have to average a surplus of 500 calories every day for 1 week. And it also helps to have more muscle because each pound of muscle requires approximately 50 calories per day to upkeep, right? So that's that first question. And we're going to move on to question number 2. Bear with me. Make sure the board. All right, I want to adjust the camera just a little bit. Make sure. No. Bring it down. I have a friend named Sean Ryan that recommended some camera ideas, and I ordered a tripod online. It's coming in, so it's the same video quality as the first one. All right. Anyway, question number 2. My memory is terrible. So if anybody has any ideas at home, ways to help with your memory, like any supplements you take, please put that in the comment box because I could use that. All right, so the second question was, if you work out on an empty stomach, will that make my body burn more fat? Well, in order to answer that question, I think it's important to first visit how your body uses energy. So, when you eat food, your body takes energy from that food in the form of ADP, adenosine diphosphate, brings it into your body, and your body converts it into a usable fuel called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Yes, it just hit me. I said TP. I spend way too much time with 11 and 12-year-olds. But anyway, I also tell my client to kind of think of your body as a car, a well-run, oiled machine. Cars generally run on 3 different types of fuel: regular, premium, and diesel. I know there's a 91 grade fuel in there, but I don't know who uses that 91 grade fuel. But anyway, our bodies also have 3 different types of energy systems that we use. It's the phosphagen system, the glycolytic system, and the aerobic system. And you might have also heard athletes that use creatine. So creatine works by bringing in a form of creatine called phosphocreatine. And it takes that phosphocreatine and your body stores it in its muscles. So when you need glucose, your body has it in its muscles to just easily convert it. So it gives you more energy. And that leads us to our first energy system. That is the phosphagen system. So it generally works for the first 30 seconds of exercise. So think about explosive movements like a sprinter, a power lifter, or any type of low rep exercise. Your body's using that phosphagen system to fuel you, right? And that's why you might notice the similar root word, phosphocreatine and phosphagen. It's kind of similar for that reason. Creatine is supposed to be really good for explosive movements. Now, once you pass that 30-second mark, your body then relies on the glycolytic system, also known as the anaerobic system. And that's generally from 30 seconds to 3 minutes. Any type of exercise that falls into that time frame is going to use your glycolytic system. You might also notice a common root word there, glyco for glycolytic and glucose. So that kind of also answers my client's question. It's important to eat generally between 100 and 300 calories before you work out. And you want it to be balanced with protein and carbohydrates. So something like a parfait with yogurt, granola, and fruit is important because it's going to fuel your muscles with the glycogen it needs to exercise. So when you do a workout, like hypertrophy, for example, you go for a lot of reps. The sets generally last from anywhere between 30 seconds to a lot less than 3 minutes. So that will definitely fall in there. But you're getting into that glycogen that's stored into your muscles. So when your body needs it, it's able to easily break down those glycogen chains, and it's able to convert that into glucose, which is a form of energy your body can use right there. Glucose is just a fancy word for sugar, right? And anything past 30 seconds to 3 minutes, your body's then going to have to depend on its oxygen. And that's our body's third fuel system, your aerobic system. You may have heard of aerobic exercise because aerobic is another word for oxygen. Anything with endurance training, like if you run marathons, you run track, or you run for miles outside, it's generally going to last a lot longer than 3 miles. And your body is turning to its aerobic system for that energy. It's turning to your oxygen store, which is why it's important to exercise often, because you train your lungs to bring in more oxygen and use it. All right, so we'll get that board down. I'm going to briefly adjust the camera. There we go. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so to finish answering that second question, while it may be true that more fat calories can be burned when exercising on an empty stomach, this number is generally not significantly more than if you were to eat a snack before working out, right? We talked about the parfait, we talked about with granola and fruit between 100 and 300 calories. Plus, in the long run, you're less likely to be able to complete a full workout on an empty stomach. So you're going to burn less calories in the long run since your body needs food as a fuel. You're not going to be able to work out long enough to burn enough calories. Glucose, as I just mentioned, is your body's main source of fuel. Now, a lot of people, are big fans of trying out these fad diets like the keto diet, which is a very low carbohydrate diet. Carbohydrate is just a fancy word for sugar. And we just talked about your body breaks down complex carbohydrates into simple sugars that can be used as energy, which we mentioned was glucose. So people that try these fad diets might lose weight and think, oh man, this diet is great. I'm losing a bunch of weight. Or they might try a low-fat diet and see the same results. But once you go back to eating normally, and eventually you're going to have to, you're going to gain all that weight back because it's just your body's way of saying, geez, I don't know when this person's going to go back to giving me the fuel that I need to operate. So when you start eating sugars, you start eating fats, your body's just going to store them as fat to build up a reserve just in case you stop eating, right? So it's important. It's important to eat a balanced diet. All right, so that's about it. That's about all I have. I hope this information helps. I look forward to getting that full body workout routine out soon. Thank you for watching. I hope you got some valuable information. Peace out from Jeff's Dungeon.